Yo, what's up, guys? Dante here, back with another video. Today, I'm going to be giving you all some news and updates from the transfer portal. Today is December 4th, which is the official opening of the transfer portal. Essentially, the transfer portal is a period in time where guys pretty much decide where they're going to play their ball next. So, real quick, so this is from December 1st, but this just gives you a quick breakdown of it. College football's transfer portal opens Monday today and will be open for the next 30 days. More than 2,100 NCAA football players entered the portal in last December's transfer window, the most of any month since the transfer portal was created in fall 2018. Now, there's a number of reasons for that. There's coaching changes, life changes, player changes, competition issues, NIL deal issues. There's a lot of reasons. Like NIL didn't really pick up until like last year, the year before. So that's why that number is so high. And you're thinking, well, 2,100, that's not a whole lot of football players. When you think about how many schools there are, if you just count like FCS and FBS, that's a lot of schools and that's a lot of kids. If you were to break that down over what is that, like 200? How many is like 300 schools in Division One? If I'm doing the math right, if you were to break it down, it's like 60, 70 kids per school. No, six. No, it's like six or seven. That's like six or seven. Like players per school. That's a lot of guys transferring out your program because not every team has a whole bunch of players. But anyway, the NCAA enacted two transfer portal windows: a 30-day window that starts the day after the four college football playoff teams are selected, in the spring window from April 15th to April 30th. A few more things to know. The official fall transfer period is December 4th, 2023 to January 2nd, 2024. The players can officially enter the portal at midnight on December 4th. Many will declare their intentions beforehand. If a coach is fired or leaves the program, that school's players can enter the portal immediately. And then it just gives you names of stuff and players that have moved and everything. Let's see. So real quick, I just want to go through like some of the guys that I know and some of the guys that make big headline. So this guy right here, these are all December 1st. Gerard Christian-Lichtenhan. He is a offensive lineman from Colorado. Now, this is obviously a big reason. This is a big announcement because Colorado's been the talk of the town this season. And my takeaway from this, there's a lot of different. I mean, he's 6'10", 315. So it's not like he's small, undersized. But this one's interesting because it's like, because of everything that happened at that school this year, was it just he couldn't work with the offensive line? Like, was he the issue? Because it's one, like a lot of times people aren't 100% honest with themselves. Like I don't know, that whole offensive line was bad. Was he a problem? You could say yes because he started, but it was the scheme they were running, or what, or issues with the coaches, or he just didn't want to play there. I mean, there's a lot of different issues, but this one's a big standout. Another one, Washington State quarterback Cameron Ward. Oh, right, I remember this guy. Yeah, so he already transferred once, so he came from Incarnate World. They were talking about him as like a Heisman finalist like last year. I mean, obviously the success didn't transfer over. So these types of transfer portal guys, they kind of concern me because they just hop all over the place. And that's one thing I don't like about the transfer portal. It becomes a thing. Like the thing about it, the transfer is as much as people don't like it, people gotta understand. Like I just made um, like if you broke it down by every team in Division One, it's only like 6, 7 people each year that are going to transfer out. But you never know with them 6 or 7 guys who's trying. Like that could be like 6 and 7 guys that start on your offense or defense. So you never know how big of a hit that's going to be. So my thing is for them specific guys. I don't know. So for me, like I still believe in the student athlete thing. I think as long as you are in school, you need to be doing. You can do football. You can do any whatever extracurricular, any kind of sports or whatever. But you still got to do the part of being a student. Like this is like I don't know how does this affect you as a student? You know what I mean? I mean, as an athlete, nothing really changed. You just got to learn like basically the system and the culture. But like as a student, because like no normal student would be switching colleges every year. You know what I'm saying? There are exceptions. Like you go to community college for like a couple years, and then you transfer to like whatever the big state school you have. Like a lot of people here, they go to Montgomery College, which is a community college here where I live at, and then they go. Usually they go to UMD, which is University of Maryland. You know what I'm saying? But that's like the only time any like normal student would transfer multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Or even just transfer in general. But like I said, if stuff happens in your life where you have to move, you got to move back home, you got to move away. That I understand. But just I don't know because if you're doing this multiple times, it can't be just like it has to be something with the football in general. And that's the thing. It's getting to the point where some of these guys are just like they're just amateur. They're basically just amateur league players or like semi-pro players. Then you got Drew Pine. So we know about him. He was at Notre Dame last year, and then he went to Arizona State. So it said he was hurt. I don't think it really mattered. That team was bad anyway. He threw 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's expected to have 3 years of eligibility left once he graduates. That's crazy. That is insane. Um, yeah, this is another situation. He was hurt. He has no reason to be transferring again. I don't even understand why. I understood why he transferred out of Notre Dame because Sam Hartman was coming in. He wasn't going to beat out Sam Hartman. But the transfer again, there was not the only thing that he got hurt. That's just a bad luck thing. You know what I'm saying? That's not a reason to. But like I said, I don't know these guys' personal lives. But from a surface level, it's just not a good look to be moving around as often. Got the South Alabama receiver, Kalen Lacey, Dante Moore out of UCLA. He originally committed to Oregon, but he flipped. He was a true freshman, threw 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Prior to his commitment, he also showed interest in Michigan State, Texas A&M, LSU, Miami, Michigan. Again, it's one of them situations where, like, I mean, if transferring is going to make you better, I guess, but I don't like these aren't stellar stats to be moving to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't. It's kind of it doesn't really work. You weren't the greatest player at your old school, but you're going to essentially try to compete at another. You started though. That's the crazy. He started at UCLA, so now you're going to have to go somewhere else and possibly have another quarterback competition. Because if he goes to a good school, um, they're not going to start him right away. He's going to have a QB battle. DJ, oh my God, DJ, oh boy, I can't say his name, but he's the former Clemson quarterback who them 2 years in Clemson were not good. It was just not good. I was like, when I saw he went to when he was going to Oregon State, I was like, you know what? That's not too bad. I don't mind that because he's not going to no big time program. He's going to like a lesser tier program. He can get better, improve, and that's what he did. He improved much better than his last two seasons. He threw for 2,638 yards and 27 total touchdowns. So that's a big improvement. And he cut down on the turnovers. So I had no problem with that. But what I mean, but then I don't know like where like what would be the like where else was he going to go? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what his end goal is. NC State quarterback MJ Morris and CJ Clark, Clemson receiver Bo Collins, Riley Leonard. This one is a little intriguing. I made a video about this. I was talking about him when I did the Notre Dame recap. Apparently Notre Dame is one of the schools he's thinking about. Um, I guess like this transfer doesn't make much sense either. He ain't nobody gonna take his job at Duke. So I guess he's trying to go to like a big time program, a bigger program. He wants more spotlight. I don't know. Like a lot of the times these guys transfer out without the greatest of performances. You know what I mean? Like if Michael Penix Jr. wanted to transfer this year, I can see that. That makes sense. He has the credentials to back that up. I'm not saying Riley Leonard is bad, but it's like I don't know. Like where does he want to go? Grayson McCall. Grayson McCall is a little different. Um, so he had injuries this season, but he's also been at that school since the beginning. Um, and plus, like he had a lot of chance. Plus, he was getting ready. I made a video last year or earlier this year, I think, where he was going to transfer out and he decided to come back. I have no problem with that. My thing with the transfer, you got to have the stats to back it up. And for me personally, you had to have been there at least 3 years to at least establish something. Like this moving around, like DJ, he's played at Oregon State one season, and he did get progressively better. He did get much better than when he was at Clemson, but that's not enough to be transferring again. You know, your body of work is still not big enough for that. Grayson McCall's a little different. He's been at that school forever. Like the Sam Hartmans and the Grayson McCalls, them guys that transfer, I can understand that because they've been in the school so long and put up numbers. This is career total: 10,000 yards and 88 career touchdowns. And in last season, he threw for 2,724 and two touchdowns and two interceptions in 11 games. He ain't even played a whole season in 2022. He put up them numbers. So I can give a pass. Who else we got? E.J. Warner, sophomore quarterback, moving on after starting two seasons for Temple. AAC Rookie of the Year last year. He's thrown for 6,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, and 24 interceptions. Okay. But once again, it's like sometimes when it comes to these guys, you got to understand how you got here. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but there's a reason why you ended up at Temple at the start. You know what I'm saying? Like there are cause and effects and reasons for why you end up at a certain school. You can't always say, "Oh, I was under recruited." That's not the case. Everyone can't play. Everyone can't start at the same time. Someone has to play at Temple. Someone has to play at Alabama. Somebody has to play at Georgia. Someone has to play at Coastal Carolina. Someone has to start at these places. It's not the worst thing in the world to play. It's not the worst thing in the world to play at a mid-major. I promise you, it's not the worst thing in the world. You're still playing major college football, college basketball. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you get as many people watching you? No, probably not. No. But if you're that good, you're probably gonna end up as a pro anyway. You'll be playing in front of millions of people eventually. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who else we got. Wake Forest. Oh, Mitch Griffiths. This is an interesting one. He, yeah, they were bad. 124 of 207. What is that math? What is that? That's not even 50%. That's nowhere near 50%. What is that? What is the percentage? What is that percentage? Is that right? 59%? Is that wait, what? Is that right? Like I guess that is because yeah, two, four. I mean, 59%. That's pretty good, actually. For being honest. But his ratio is horrible. 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That's horrible. So like, that's what I'm saying. You can't have a season like this and then leave. And then the backup quarterback, Santino Marucci, he's transferring too. So you losing your two quarterbacks, and the season was already horrendous as it is. This I don't understand. These little what do you call these? Like what do they call them? I don't know what you call these. Like thank you messages. Like, I don't know. I guess it's cool for optics, but this isn't. I don't know, man. These like you should save these for like when you're graduating. You enter in the transfer portal. It is what it is. I don't know. But I mean, hey, if they opened it up. They let them. They gave them the opportunity to move around. So it is what it is. Tyler Van Dyke. Okay, this is an interesting one. He's a fourth year junior. He's been the starter since 2021. Um, his best performance was 2021 when he started. 2,900 yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in 10 games. ACC Rookie of the Year, ACC Offensive Rookie of the Year, and then yeah, injuries and inconsistency. Uh, but yeah, he did have three different offensive coordinators, and then also the running back Donald Chaney Jr. But yeah, some of his I don't know Tyler Van Dyke, I don't know, man. I mean I can understand they're inconsistent with their coaching staff, so that I can understand. Like at some point, it's like, damn, I got to play for a different guy, a different system every year. That I can give a pass to. All right, my boys Notre Dame. Center Zeke Correll and defensive end Nana Osafo-Mensah. Ain't he a senior? He's a grad senior, isn't he? He's a senior. Damn, he started one game this season before finding a reserve role in the Irish defense. 5 seasons in South Bend, he had 47 tackles and 5 sacks. I mean, at that point, he's graduated. It's 5 years. He can do what he wants. I don't. That's another thing I give a pass on. You've done your 4 years. You've done what you're supposed to. You graduated. You still got eligibility. Go ahead. Correll started 10 games. He entered the portal as a graduate transfer and will have 1 year. Okay, stuff that I don't even mind. You did what you had to do. You came in. You graduated. I'm cool with that. No problem with that. Let's see. No USC receiver Malik Brown, sophomore, saw limited action. He only had 3 catches. Jesus Christ. He was a highly ranked recruit. It doesn't matter about that. I don't. That who cares if you highly ranked recruit? You had what you. I mean, to be fair, Caleb Williams can only throw to so many people. I mean, he just got the short end of the stick. He went to a school with too much talent, and he couldn't beat him out. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Let's see. Ooh, Will Howard. From Kansas State. Okay. So he won that title last year. Graduate transfer. Hey, do your thing, bro. He had 2,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Very good. 61% completion. Oh yeah, Adrian Martinez. I forgot. He's another transfer too. Adrian Martinez started out in Nebraska. And shoot, they made the right decision. Adrian Martinez wasn't bad. He's just not. He's not starter material. So he has 1 year eligibility left. Career wise, he's 5,700 yards, 48 touchdowns, a team record, and 25 interceptions. That's a little cutting it close. As well as 934 yards and 19 touchdowns. Then they also their running back Trayshawn Ward. So he was at Florida State 4 years. He has had more than 500 yards rushing the season the past 3 seasons, 17 touchdowns. Okay. Will Rogers. So this is the Mississippi State guy. He's thrown for 94 career touchdowns. They had coaching changes. Cool. You know what I'm saying? You can't wait around and see what they're going to pick as the coach. You don't have the time to wait, so I get it. He played every game in 21 and 22, but he was limited injuries this year in 23. In 8 games, he threw for 600 yards, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. It's not bad. In 4 seasons in Starksville, he threw for 12,315 yards and completed 69%. Good God. That is crazy. Michigan State got a lot of guys. See, when they don't even give you stats, you know they ain't done nothing. Hauser was a redshirt freshman, played 7 games. And they ain't got nothing on the offensive lineman and Sam Levitt. Brendan Sorby. The reason I'm talking about these guys, these are very specific because these are Big Ten guys, and we got to play them every year. They fired Tom Allen. Okay, it is what it is. He played 10 games this year, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's a 3-star recruit in the class of 20. Who cares? I don't care about stars. Stars are meaningless to me. Let's see. This is back in 26. Nate Johnson, with Cam Rising returning for a 7-year. Jesus Christ. Bryson Barnes. I'm gonna make a video about that because he's leaving too. So they're losing 2 quarterbacks behind him. So if Cam goes down again next year, Bryson Barnes kept them this season alive. He actually played. He beat USC. He kept them in the race for as long as he could. Freshman single caller started 3 games this year, going 2-1 and accounting for 734 total yards and 12 touchdowns. So he got potential. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, there's a difference between not being able to play and not wanting to compete. Like you always want to compete, but you gotta know the realism. If he's that good to beat out Cam Rising and Bryson Barnes, then one, he just doesn't want to play, which is an issue. Or he's just not going. He's just or they did a bad job of recruiting. If he's the 3rd string backup, but he's better than them 2. That's a situation where I'm like, all right, you can leave, bro, because if you're that good, I mean, I would just beat the dudes out, but it's like, I don't know. I guess I give it a pass. He's a freshman. He just came in. There's more quarterbacks. Texas A&M coach, Texas A&M quarterback, the Texas A&M receiver. I mean, to be fair, you don't know. The guy from Duke, Elko, we don't know how good he is. You know what I'm saying? He did a lot. He does a lot of good stuff in Duke. But it's a different animal, man. He's in the SEC. Now, I said in my previous video, the SEC is not as dominant as people like to make it out to be. But it's a very different breeding ground when it comes to recruiting. In the ACC, you at best you're getting like maybe a guy or two out of like Texas and Louisiana and Florida, like top guys. But mostly when he was at Duke, he was probably getting a bunch of in-state guys like maybe South Carolina. Maybe you get like lower tier Florida guys, lower like guys up north, like in like Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh, and I mean in Pennsylvania, like Maryland, Virginia areas like that. So he had to really scour the East Coast. You start going down, like he's in Texas. He's got to go against Tech and Baylor and UT and UTSA and freaking what other teams in Texas? Rice and Houston. Like there's a lot of schools to compete with. And yeah, I think that's it. So this all goes back to November 16th. So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about what's going on in the transfer portal. My thoughts about this: it's a double-edged sword. I can understand why guys transfer out. Like I said, there's a lot of different reasons why a guy would transfer out. It's not just one particular reason. There's a lot of different reasons. But on the other hand, I understand the negatives of it. It gives guys an easy out, right? And I think they did. The problem is they gave the easiest way to fix this is make them sit a year. That'll destroy so much of this, because the problem is if you play at a school and because what's to stop you from transferring every time your coach get fired or leave? What if you went from like you got recruited at you got recruited at UTSA, Texas San Antonio, and then your coach leaves after 2 years. So you get a free pass, you get to transfer in and play immediately. But what happens if you transfer from UTSA to I'm trying to think of a school, to like, I don't know, BYU, and you play and like the coach leaves, right? Or he gets fired. Or say you have like a really weird bad season. So you get to leave again. There's too many loopholes for these guys. The old way was perfect. You transfer, you only get one transfer. You transfer, you got to sit out a year unless you get written consent to play. You got to have a damn good reason for leaving. You can't. That's the problem. They open up Pandora's box where everyone can transfer multiple times. That's how. Like you're gonna have guys that are playing, 6-7 years in college, and unless you got a legit like Cam Rod has a legitimate reason. He's been hurt. He's had significant injuries that keep him from playing, and that's not fair to take away his eligibility because of stuff he can't. You can't control the injuries you get. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, I don't mind. Well, like I said, with grad transfers, if you've been at the school 4 years and you graduated, and you get that extra year, or if you had the red shirt because you just weren't ready, or you got injured, like a medical red shirt, stuff like that is cool. But like other than that, all these other reasons for transferring, they just don't sit well with me. And all it is just gonna make the bigger schools bigger. So you're creating more parity, like because like I don't think like Alabama gets Alabama, Texas, Michigan, they get transferred all the time. Everyone gets transfers, but their need for transfers is not on the same level as like a Colorado or like a Oklahoma State or like a what I'm saying, schools that really need the talent. They can't get them just through recruiting. They got to get them out the portal. Yeah, I just want to give some updates on certain guys. I do have some more transfer portal news coming up with 3 very specific quarterbacks. You can probably see it in the video. If you look up here, you'll see what I'm talking about. But and I'm gonna do another video. Oh, so yeah. All right, peace.